Good evening. All right, so I'll jump into the idea. The idea is, so people they like to take somebody, for example, right? Let's say somebody has crazy success in the world, right? Let's say they're getting I mean, just doing very nice, very good in the world, and it looks like they're not even trying, or that it's too easy for them, and it's making other people unhappy, or I don't know. If so many people are happy and it doesn't make any sense. Anyways, going on. Somebody's being very successful. People like to look. People like to do this background check, right? So they take the person. They go, well, what crew does he hang out in? Who are these people that he associates with? What does he do? What kind of activities does you know what I mean? They start getting in there, and then what they want to do. Like, the thing is that, you see, somebody who just jumps into like having a presence, jumps into society in a few months and gets to the one percenter and achieves some things. You know that person is not your average person, first of all. But I'll clarify. So they like to look. Some people will be like, "Oh, this guy's gangbanging." Oh, well, did you go to high school in Chicago, in Houston, in L.A., in New York? Did you go to high school in these places? That's the first thing they'll ask. You didn't. Well, where did you go? You went to the suburbs. So you went to elementary, middle, and high school in the suburbs. That's not gangster at all. You know what I mean? Well, who was this guy around? Was he around rich people? Well, he's not rich at all. Well, how did he do this if he's not in the crowd of people? I learned very young. Like, I'm talking when I was like 7 years old or 6, 7 years old. I learned that you can join a group, for example, and you can like pretty much have a lifestyle with them. Like, you always meet up together, always hang out, blah, blah, blah. And you can be part of that group. And you can just naturally pick up on them. You know what I mean? Everybody's picking up together, everybody's doing things together, and it works as a natural flow. But I've never lived that way. I don't live that way. In fact, literally about 10 minutes walk or 15 minutes walk from where I lived on that very street is where I robbed a bank, right? Now, I'll be honest, I've never heard of anybody previously robbing that bank before me. I've never heard of anybody doing that. I've never heard of anybody robbing anything on that whole street. All right. I mean, like, actually, like, come on, man. You're not listen, man. Anyways, going on. Now, the thing is that people always want, well, who did how do you do this? I'll be honest with you. It never worked out for me. I could never do that. And even when I tried, it was like, they would just say, dude, we gotta not have this person with us. Okay, so just make sure whatever this person does, just don't put him with us. Let him do whatever he wants on his own. I literally got a pass. Like I told you, even when I was in school, people just gave me a pass. Do whatever you want. And nobody would argue against, like, people would try to argue against it, but for the most part, it would win out, right? So I never had that issue. Now people left me on my own, and I was left on my own, and versus just laying there doing nothing, I did activity on my own, which people didn't even understand. I went and joined a gym where they were doing stuff, and I took nobody with me. No, I was supposed to go with, like, I tried getting people to go. Nobody wanted to go with me. Nobody wanted to even go to YMCA gym with me. Dude, I had to go there on my own, and I had to just exercise on my own and figure everything out on my own. I didn't have no personal trainer. I didn't have no friends there. I had nothing. I went to these places on my own. These other gyms and stuff. I just found it on my own, and I went there on my own. I always did everything on my own. Even when people were trying to do something for me or with me, it would always get canceled due to whatever magnanimous reason, right? Now, I'll tell you another thing. I didn't really know this till I learned this, that, I'll be honest with you. I thought vampires was a hoax. I really thought that the vampire thing was a hoax. You know what I mean? Now I'm not gonna go into that deeply and tell you exactly what may be the case, but I'll tell you, like, I mean, I watching Interview with the Vampire, movies like that, was really cool. Interview with the Vampire gives you a very realistic look. Like, it's very realistic. You know what I mean? I'm not a vampire, okay? I haven't aged in about 12 years, but that doesn't make me a vampire. Okay, I haven't aged in over a decade. That doesn't make me a vampire. Having vampire teeth since I'm a kid doesn't make me a vampire. Okay, looking Romanian or looking like I shouldn't say Romanian. Looking like Vlad Dracula does not make me an actual vampire. Okay, and I've never drank blood, so I'm not a vampire in any way. Right now, going on, I will tell you one thing. Thinking it was a hoax and actually finding out that there are others like me, you know what I mean? Like in all the similarities I've said, who also claim Italy or other countries or whatever countries they claim. But, I like I said, man, to me, the home, like after doing a little bit of research, I feel like the homeland is Romania, is Transylvania, for the vampire family, the vampire folklore, and the vampire beings, right? But I learned that there were other guys like me who claimed to be from vampire dynasties. Now it's an extreme rarity in the world. A vampire is quite a rarity in the world. But the thing is that I'm not unfamiliar with the fact that vampires can go to different cities and countries on their own, and they can start up on their own. I know that vampires are capable of doing this. Now watching Interview with the Vampire is so historically real. If you look at it, really, Lestat, who traveled from France to New Orleans, was living on his own. He had a beautiful house. Louis, which was Brad Pitt, Louis, before becoming a vampire, was a master of a plantation. He had a beautiful house. He had everything. His wife died while bearing his child, which broke him. Losing his wife and his child and being alone really broke him. And that's when Lestat found him, right? But Lestat was already going on his own, doing everything. And I still remember one of the quotes is when Louis was searching the world for vampires. He was going from country to country to country. He couldn't find any vampires. And then one day, as he was traveling through a city in France, at nighttime, a vampire finds him. And his exact quote was, "I traveled the world looking for a vampire, and then a vampire found me." That's when he meets one of Armand's main guys. You know what I mean? A vampire found him. Unfortunately, the daughter that he had adopted, who was a vampire, unfortunately, she had Lestat killed, which Louis had no part in. But she had Lestat killed, and Lestat was the one that made her, and they killed her, but they allowed Louis to be fine. Okay, they let Louis live on, because Louis wasn't a bad guy and he wasn't in the wrong, so they let him go, right? But Louis was very good natured, by the way, in the movie. He was very good natured. Lestat fucked up. Apparently, Lestat. Anyways, I'm not gonna get into all that, but that was the thing. Now, I've actually heard of vampire, but you hear folklore from Romania and the old countries in Europe and things like that. Vampires are known to literally, like they are lone creatures. Now, they may roll with, occasionally, if a vampire is traveling and he finds another vampire, he will travel with him. They will get to know each other. And after spending some time with each other, usually they will depart. That's usually what happens with vampires. But the whole point is that vampires are not made, like this vampire dynasty was not made so that, we would have this community and we would, it just doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? A vampire goes in, a vampire is a leader. A vampire is a born leader. He's strong. He goes into a place and he makes that way. He makes that happen. He is the one who is making people act a certain way. People are not vibing. He is not vibing off of the people and following people. People are following him and people are vibing off of him. He's a strong personality. He's the character. They're following him. They're trying to circle around him. That's how it works. Vampires grow on their own. If you need proof, know that I had no accomplices or no free card or no setup to rob that bank. I robbed that motherfucking bank on my own as my first adult charge ever. I mean, how many, you know what I mean? You kind of get what I'm saying. I didn't have any accomplices. I didn't have anybody saying, hey, dude, you know what I mean? Everything was self-done. And even sports and stuff that I did when I was younger, nobody was really doing anything for me. I really, did that. To a certain extent, as a child, you may follow certain trends and things, but that's as a child, Now, uh, anyways, sorry, I was thinking about something. No, anyways, all right. So what I'm thinking is going on. Sorry, going on. So that's what I want. That's all I wanted to say. You know what I mean? And I found out that vampires are capable of that. You roll in, you make the crew, you make the group, you make the entourage. You know what I mean? You're the vampire. You know what I mean? You are supposed to be capable of literally roaming around on your own. You know what I mean? You're supposed to be strong, smart, an individual. You are supposed, this is all the expectations from a vampire. He's supposed to do that. That's what he's supposed to be. You have earthlings, like you have people who are from Earth, and then you have people who follow folklore, man, like vampire, or, we have all sorts of folklore in our histories. Some people say, oh, aliens came and built the pyramids, for example. I haven't looked into that, and I have no idea about that. But, if you have somebody who's at a much higher capability and level, in every way, you can't just throw in whatever you want. You know what I mean? Oh, but he didn't grow up with this. It's like, you know better than that. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry if look, man, I don't know what it is, but I'm not that person. Okay, and I'm not gonna be that person. You know what I mean? That's not me. I'm not Mr. I would rather be Dudley Do-Right, which was the RCMP Mountie who did everything right, than be Goody Two-Shoes gay boy. Sorry to say. No, this is not meant to be a slur against homosexuals, by the way. But I'd rather be I'd rather be Dudley Do-Right, to be very honest. Even if I was never gonna date a girl, I'd rather be Dudley Do-Right than be Mr. Goody Two-Shoes. Oh, what are you doing today? Oh, let's all do this. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna do that, man. I'm not gonna do that. That's, you see, if that was in my nature, even if there was like 2% of that in my nature, I would have become something like that. But I did not. You understand me? And I'm not gonna get into, but let's not. I'm not even talking about actual vampires. I'm like from Romania or Transylvania folklore. That's one thing. But even if you had guys who are like vampires, were very strong and capable, they're able to go in, make a crew, or go join a gang and be one of the stronger ones, and be somebody. Everybody in the gang is going like, wow, this guy is crazy. This guy is fucking sick. Wow, this guy's a shit. You know what I mean? There are guys who can do that, and those guys are like here as my elbow bone, my collarbone, my wrist bone, my ankle. You know what I mean? These are guys that are all in different parts of my body, metaphorically, as different pieces of bones. You know what I mean? How do you expect me to be like your loser ass, whoever you are? I'm not. Listen, man, if you don't, I'm glad I said that. If you feel offended by any way, don't watch these videos. Take your ass somewhere else, because these videos are not for you. You know what I mean? And if it's for you, let it be for you, and let it take a bit of an effect. Anyways, I'm done, and we are in the evening. Good evening again.